The conversation around the Iraqi dinar is no longer limited to exchange rates, speculation, or rumors about revaluation. A deeper and more structural change is unfolding beneath the surface, one that could redefine how Iraq interacts with money, banking, and global finance. Digitalization is rapidly becoming the foundation of Iraq's financial future, and the dinar sits at the center of this transition. Across the country, Iraq is expanding digital payment systems, upgrading electronic banking infrastructure, and building the tools required to modernize its economy, increase transparency, and align with international financial standards. While much public attention remains focused on whether the dinar will rise or fall in value, the more important question may be how the currency itself is evolving to function in a digital-first financial environment. For decades, Iraq's financial system relied heavily on cash-based transactions, informal markets, and limited banking participation. This structure created inefficiencies, encouraged corruption, and made it difficult for policymakers to monitor liquidity or track economic activity. Digitalization changes that equation entirely. As electronic payment systems expand and mobile banking becomes more widespread, the Central Bank of Iraq gains stronger oversight of money flows throughout the economy. This is not simply about convenience, it is about control, accountability, and financial stability. A digitally integrated dinar allows authorities to manage inflation, monitor currency velocity, and enforce monetary policy with far greater precision than ever before. One of the most significant developments in this transition is the rapid growth of electronic payment platforms. Across Iraq, government salaries, pensions, and welfare payments are increasingly distributed digitally rather than in physical cash. This shift reduces leakage, limits fraud, and introduces millions of Iraqis to the formal banking system for the first time. Each digital transaction creates a data trail, and that data becomes invaluable for economic planning. As more citizens use digital dinars instead of paper notes, the financial system becomes measurable, predictable, and easier to regulate. Exactly what international institutions expect from a modern economy. The banking sector itself is also undergoing a quiet but critical transformation. Iraqi banks are upgrading their core systems, adopting international compliance standards, and integrating with global payment networks. This modernization is essential for cross-border transactions, foreign investment, and trade financing. A digitally compatible dinar makes it easier for Iraqi banks to interact with correspondent banks worldwide, reducing delays and increasing trust. Digitalization also plays a key role in combating corruption and money laundering issues that have historically weakened confidence in Iraq's economy. Cash-heavy systems are notoriously difficult to monitor, but digital transactions leave records that can be audited and analyzed. Alignment with international compliance standards is not optional, it is a prerequisite for deeper cooperation with institutions such as the IMF, the World Bank, and global commercial banks. Another important dimension of Iraq's digital finance push is financial inclusion. Large segments of the population have traditionally operated outside the formal banking system, relying on cash savings and informal lending. Digital wallets, mobile banking applications, and electronic identification systems are beginning to change that reality. When citizens can store, transfer, and receive dinars digitally, they gain access to credit, savings products, and financial services that were previously unavailable. From an investment perspective, digitalization adds credibility to Iraq's long-term economic trajectory. Investors look for systems that are transparent, regulated, and scalable. A digitized currency ecosystem signals seriousness and readiness. However, it is important to be clear, digital transformation alone does not guarantee a stronger dinar valuation. What it does provide is the infrastructure necessary for any sustainable appreciation. Without these systems in place, Sudden currency changes would be risky and unstable. Digital readiness reduces those risks by ensuring transactions can be monitored, settlements processed efficiently, and liquidity managed effectively. It is also essential to distinguish between digitalization and speculation. Digital dinar initiatives do not imply an overnight revaluation or dramatic exchange rate shift. They reflect a strategic, gradual effort to modernize how the currency functions within the economy. This measured approach is consistent with how central banks around the world manage financial transitions, prioritizing stability over excitement beyond banking and payments. Digital reforms are also transforming tax collection, customs duties, and public procurement systems. These platforms strengthen government revenue management and reduce reliance on oil income alone. A more diversified and digitally monitored revenue base supports macroeconomic stability, which indirectly strengthens confidence in the dinar. Public perception is another key factor. As citizens grow accustomed to digital payments and electronic banking, trust in formal institutions increases. This encourages savings within the banking system rather than cash hoarding. Stronger bank balance sheets enable more lending to businesses and entrepreneurs, supporting economic growth and reinforcing the dinar's role as a reliable medium of exchange. Internationally, Iraq's adoption of financial technology positions it closer to regional peers that have already implemented advanced digital systems, integration with regional payment networks and trade platforms becomes easier as standards align. Over time, this connectivity can increase legitimate demand for the dinar in trade and commerce, contributing to overall stability and relevance. Ultimately, the story of the Iraqi dinar and digitalization is not about hype or short-term gains. It is about infrastructure, discipline, and long-term economic health. While exchange rate discussions will always attract attention, the deeper transformation lies in how the dinar is evolving to function within a modern digital framework. Those who focus on these fundamentals gain a clearer understanding of where Iraq's financial future is truly headed.